everyone, and welcome to our Earth Day Saskatchewan special here on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Daniela Ponticelli, and today we are at Beaver Creek Conservation Area just outside of Saskatoon to have a look at the way people in our province are thinking about the environment. We start things off by looking up. Simon Hyatt joined a group of intrepid spotters covering the province in search of feathered friends.
Much like the creatures they are stalking, bird spotters have some distinctive characteristics. Watch for the quick head jerk, followed by the reach for the binoculars, and of course their unique call.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. Some of us can tell most of our species by either sight or sound. So all of a sudden we'll be like, oh, yeah, over.
This is just one of hundreds of bird counts happening across the province and country, designed to not only record the number of birds, but also the variety. On this day, nuthatches, chickadees, woodpeckers, pine grosbeaks, and waxwings were among the types spotted. But that's just a small sampling of the types that spend at least part of their year in Saskatchewan.
For this count that we're doing, usually we only vary between about 10 and 20 species, so not very many. So it's easier for more inexperienced birders because there's not an overwhelming amount, so you can kind of learn your species a bit better.
It's always interesting each year what birds have come from the north and how many have remained in their migration, as you know, how many are around, and different years are certainly different species every year.
Counts cover a 15 square mile area. This one was based from Marilyn Haskins' home north of Saskatoon, and it's easy to see why. She designed this place specifically to be for the birds.
We've planted all the trees and specifically to attract birds, and indeed they've come and they enjoy it and we enjoy having them. And I feed them summer and winter, and I provide nesting materials and boxes.
Information gathered is used to get a sense of the health of both bird populations and the environment in general. It's too early to draw any conclusions from this year's count, and as a general rule, numbers vary significantly from year to year.
Just based on food dependence and kind of the weather, there's a bunch of different factors which can lead to population trends going up and down. Birds are so widespread, it's hard to keep track of that. So if you get a bunch of volunteers across the country out on a specific day, it can be a lot easier to kind of track these kinds of things. So
I've had them, but not, this is the most I've had.
No matter what you find, birds are always enjoyable to watch. So I just love being out and seeing what I can find.
For Shaw TV's Earth Day, I'm Simon Hyatt in Saskatoon.
You can see many of those birds right here at Beaver Creek, a conservation area bursting with wildlife and natural prairie. And while we don't all live in places that look like this, in Moose Jaw, the city's Parks and Recreation Department has created a program to help change that. People building a new home can apply for free trees to be planted on their property. And we have a look at how Moose Jaw's urban forest is expanding into the city's new subdivisions.
Okay, we call it Trees for New Subdivisions, and that's exactly what it is. It's for the new subdivisions that have been developing in town. It's so these new areas can have trees, because we find that in these new areas there's no trees. It's another expense for a homeowner. We would like just to get more trees in there, so we offer 2 trees to every homeowner to plant, and it's just that way we can keep our urban forest growing.
Keeping the urban forest growing is important for a prairie town like Moose Jaw. The trees that are here need help with their growth and health. Most people may not realize that all Moose Jaw trees have had the same start.
Every tree in Moose Jaw was planted. So the urban forestry in town was a planted urban forest, and yeah, we do have to maintain it.
I'm surprised. I had no idea. I would have thought that, particularly as we stand close to the Waccamaw Valley here, that a lot of those were have been there since, for the last 100 years or whatever, but I did not know.
Scott Williamson is one of the homeowners who is enjoying the benefits of 2 trees provided to him by the city, free of charge.
Well, I guess that's part of what attracted us to us was not only the environmental piece and yard beautification, but, they were free. And they're beautiful trees. They were probably, 10 or 12 feet tall, so they're well established, they're healthy, and having purchased some others, I believe they were roughly $150. So, we walked away with 2 trees, so there's roughly $300 worth of tree there for free. So that was a good thing.
Having a variety of different trees available to the program helps create a visually interesting yard and also helps keep the trees healthy.
We have a really nice variety this year. I kind of opened up the variety and widened it. People can go to our website and we have pictures of them so they know what they look like, and so we're getting a nice variety because it's also important not to have, as much as we love our avenues and all the elm, if something came in, such as Dutch elm disease, we could really wipe out all our trees. So it's nice to keep a variety on every block. So if something does hit one tree, it's not going to affect the next tree.
Many cities and towns are offering a similar opportunity, and it's a good one to check for where you live.
We need to respect our environment, and I tend to be somebody who does engage in those types of issues, and you know, the whole recycling and that kind of thing. I just thought, you know, planting trees, again, it's an opportunity to clean the air. And you know, somebody goes, well, it's just a tree or two, who cares? Well, you know, one tree here, two there, through there, you know, it's good for the environment, and again, in the community, it just enhances the look of the yards and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a program whereby everybody wins.
Like, I want to see more and more trees. I want to protect our trees as much as possible. I want everybody to learn to appreciate the trees and how important they are, and for generations to come. This is for our children and our children's children.
Yes.
Later in the show, we will meet one family whose entire home has become energy efficient, and we hit the streets to find out what you think about climate change. So stay with us, because still to come on Earth Day Saskatchewan, we show you how farm waste is fueling innovation and look high on the rooftops and deep underground at new ways of producing energy.
Hi, I'm Thorsten. I'm an energy advisor with City Green in British Columbia. Oh, I really like my job. It's really satisfying to see these homeowners suddenly living in a house that is so much more comfortable, living in a house that is more efficient, and they like to see their utility bills suddenly because they are so much lower. If you really want to do a good job, your heart has to be with it. I am Green Power.
It's like you're dancing.